Today's rule for retirement is really understanding how indexed annuities work. So what we're going to look at is an example of a fixed index annuity, and what this does for growth is it gets a 50% participation rate, so I'm going to write par rate up here, on the S&P 500 index. And so as we look at this, what this means is we're able to get 50% of the upside of the index, but if the index goes negative, we're in a position where we don't lose any money. So I want to give two examples here. So this first one is for those of you that are a little negative. You think over the first year or the next year, you're going to see a loss in the markets. So let's say you invested $100,000 and you were in a position where the market lost 20%. Most people would be in a position where they'd now have $80,000, but inside of this policy, in that first year, you stayed flat at $100,000. Now, typically, markets will respond after a correction happens. So let's say we've got a 15% return the next year. You would get 50% of that, which in this case would be 7.5%, and your account value now would be at $107,500. If the market was not done having volatile times and going down, and let's say we had another 20% drop in the market, this 107.5 that you had now made is continued to lock in, and that becomes the new bottom of the contract. So unless you take withdrawals, you can't lose any of this $107,500. So the index annuity here gives you some safety and security in the way that we view this example. Now, let's assume that we're in a position where the market goes up the first year instead of down. Very similar scenario, but let's say the first year the market goes up 10%. You get 50% of that, which means $105,000, and then the market takes its drop and goes down 20%. You're still sitting tight at 105, and the interesting thing here is if the market goes up another 10%, you're now in a position where you will make your 50% on the higher number instead of the market having to get back above where you started. So when we look at this is an opportunity for people in retirement to have some security in their investments, but not have to wait for markets to return back to where they were necessarily for you to be able to make money. So this is one example of many on how index annuities work, and really understanding this can give you some safety and security in a portion of your investments.